Hello beautiful people, welcome to another video. I haven't felt this confident in myself in ever. I'm ready to take on 2025. Are you? 2025 is just around the corner and I do not want to hear from anybody, including myself, 2025 is gonna be my year, and don't do anything about it. I have tried different tactics in 2024 when it comes to my writing, how I want to write, where I want to write, and in every single situation, I've always found a way to justify me not doing it, and I don't want to do that anymore. So for this year, I am going to actually set a plan and stick to the plan. But I want to help you all create your own goals and your own plans for 2025. So let's do this together. Now, most videos will tell you or show you how to create plans for the year, but I want to do it a little bit differently. I want to break them up by 3 months at a time. I feel like that's the most realistic way of doing it because life happens, things change over the course of the months in the entire year. It could be 1 month where you're not as active.
Trying to be cool, but goddamn.
There's always something that's going on. So I feel like condensing it into 3-month chunks at a time is a lot more manageable, and you're able to kind of see what works and then figure out from there what you can do for the next 3 months. So it's kind of like you're working towards a better version of yourself each time, and you're not getting hard on yourself about not doing something in the span of a year when really life happens. Things come up all the time and you can't always plan for everything. That's completely impossible. But what you can do is take the allotted time and adjust what you can and learn from certain situations or certain circumstances that you're in and then apply it to the next time. But you don't have to wait for the whole year. You can literally transform yourself or transform your life or change certain aspects of yourself in a 3 months time. So to create our goals and for the goals that you're creating yourself, we're going to use the SMART method. I'm going to put it here, SMART. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time. And this is a tactic that a lot of people use when creating goals for the workplace, for yourself, for your child, for anything really. This tactic, this breakdown is very helpful when it comes to creating goals for yourself. I've used this method before in the different organizations I was a part of when I was a teenager, when it came to trying to navigate, what do you want to do when you go to college? What can you do in the meantime to build up your transcript and to give yourself more experience so that when you do apply for colleges, they can see that you've done X, Y, and Z, that type of thing. Anyway, disregarding that, let's go ahead and break down our method, starting off with number 1, specific. I know what you're thinking. Cierra, what does creating goals for 2025 have to do anything with reading or writing? But I'm going to show you. This is exactly the point that I'm going to be making. We can create goals for so many different things that we want to achieve in our lives, right? Right. So for me, my goals are more pertained to reading, writing mostly, but also content creating, because I want to connect more with you all through YouTube, through Threads, through my Instagram. This is something that I want to do. I want to become more actively involved in my communities more than I ever have been. So I feel like I can say that that creating SMART goals can be extremely beneficial for even this line of work. Now back to our actual point. So starting off with our first one, is specific. So when you're creating your goals, you want to make them as extremely specific as possible. You don't want it to be vague at all. You don't want it to be oh, I want to have 10 books. That's just the vague one. It's okay, but what kind of books? Do you want to read more fantasy? Do you want to read more, which one am I gonna pick? More thriller type of thing. What do you actually want to do? Make it as specific as possible. For me, this is just this is just an example. I don't know if I'll actually have this as my goal, but my specific goal is to at least write 2 books. Like from beginning to end, not just the first draft, but the completed draft. I want to be completed with 2 books by 2025. They might not be out for publication, depending on if I want to actually query them for traditional publishing or not, but they will be done regardless if I want to do self-publishing or traditional publishing, or at least try to traditionally publish. The next thing is to make sure that it revolves around the letter M, which is measurable. So is your goal actually measurable in terms of, can it be done within a month? Can it be done within a year? How much time, I mean, I don't even know how much time, how can it be measured to know that you've completed the task? Like, if it's for studying, you want to get an A on a test, or like you want to get an A at the end of the term, make it measurable. Like, how many times do you think you'll have to study to get that A? So if you're like, I want to study 3 times a week, that's what makes it measurable. Next up, if it's achievable. And clearly, if you're making the goal, it should be achievable, correct? That's not always the case, though. You could be making a goal that's like, I want to become fucking part of Congress, and it's like, in a year, that's not possible. Like some like very, not even extreme, like you have like this really passionate goal, you have like this dream that you want to achieve, but is it achievable within a year? Like, can you break that down on a month-by-month basis and actually make moves towards it to make it achievable? Because if it's not, babe, that might be like just like a 5-year plan. That might be a completely different thing. But for right now, we're just focusing on the year. And even then, we're focusing on 3 months. Like, can you see yourself continuously working on this for 3 months? Like, is it achievable within a short amount of time? If so, then yes, we can move forward. All right, next one on the list. Is it relevant? Like, is this a goal that actually pertains to you, or is this a goal that is not aligned with what you are trying to do? If it's not aligned with you, don't do it. Like, there's no point in doing something, or at least trying to do something, when it doesn't align to you. Trust me, I've tried. It doesn't work out. And the last main point of the SMART program is T, time. How much time will you need to go into that goal? How much time needs to be given to achieving at least really 1/3 of the way there? Like, how much time do you need to contribute in 1 month? Then how much time you need to contribute in the second month? Like, you start to learn over time how much time you need to contribute to your actual goal. So going back to the studying thing, you need to study 2 or 3 times a week, but how long should you study? I should study for 2 hours, 3 times a week. That is measurable, it's achievable, it's relevant, because if you're in school, you want to get your degree, obviously. It has a time limit, and it's very specific to what you're doing. All right, so I hope that helped breaking down what using the SMART technique is like, but I'm going to use it as an example for a goal that I have. So my goal is to have Project Leo and Dahlia completed from first draft to either making a query letter, or if I choose to self-publish, it'll be on Kindle Unlimited by next year. So that's my goal. Now, to make it measurable, which means for me would be working on it 3 times a week. By working on it, I mean like writing it, editing it, that type of thing. I'm not done with my first draft yet. So this goal is kind of like the end of 2024 going into 2025. So using it as a measurement is writing. So measuring it, I'll probably write, let's see if I can shoot for 5,000 words a week. That'll be one way to do it. Now for A, is this achievable? Yes. As long as I don't spend that time scrolling on my phone or watching every other YouTube video that I have on my watch later list. It is achievable. R, is it relevant? Yes, because I am a writer. It's extremely relevant for me. Now, time-wise, I would say, since I'm going to be doing this about 3 times a week, trying to hit 5,000 words, within the first 3 months, so January, February, March, or technically December, January, February for me, a little bit of March probably too, is to, I would say each month have an aspect of the book completed. So like by the end of December, I would like to have the whole book completed. Will it all be completed? Probably not. But what I can do is say I want all of my rising action to be done by December. January, I want all of my not so messy middle to be completed. February, I want all my middle to be completed. March to have the ending completed. Then I can take that information, take all of that data from the first 3 months, edit it, clean it up, get some beta readers. So then going into the second chunk of the 3 months, I can actually start to market it. I can actually start to put up posts for people who might be interested in the book. I can start to create a content calendar of what you can look out for in my book and start to actually like really market it, really showcase it, get some people to hype it up, that type of thing. So for me, it's all about taking it bit by bit when it comes to that goal, all the way to completion when I actually do decide to release it. Or if I do decide to do a query letter, I will have a fan base, or at least like a hype group over this book. So then when the publishers actually see, and then when the publishers and the agents see what my book is about, they'll also look up and see the hype around it and see like the community I created around it. So I feel like that'll also be extremely helpful with trying to figure out if it will be traditionally published or if I just want to go ahead and self-publish. If you like this video, be sure to like the video. In the comments, you can write down the goal you have in mind, or maybe just like a rough draft of it. Nobody wants to give out all of their goals all the damn time, and I completely get it. Trust me, I'm trying to keep some of the goals to myself. But if you have just like a rough draft of maybe one goal that you have, you can put that in the comments below. I would love to see it, especially for us readers, writers, authors, self-published or traditionally published. I would love to see what your goals are for 2025. And until next time, bye.